here on Facebook on the Female Solution Facebook page, and we're here live on the Female Solution Radio Show. And this is Woman to Woman with Wanda Carter, our great producer, Wanda Carter. And we've got some wonderful co-hosts with us today as we talk about some very important topics that will help us become better people and to transform the world we live in. I'm Naima Latif, executive producer of the Female Solution Radio Show, and we have with us our wonderful co-host, and I'm going to give you an opportunity to introduce yourselves, starting with my dear sister.
Okay, well, I am Dee Love. I am the member of Women Entrepreneurs International, the smart choice, empowering women to be financially free.
And our dear sister Glenda, go right ahead.
I'm Glenda Fulton, founder of the National Sarcoidosis Foundation.
Wonderful. Well, this is Woman to Woman with Wanda Carter and our dear producer, Wanda Carter. As always, is there behind the scenes making it all happen. And you can watch the Woman to Woman TV show at www.ccnewsmedia.org. And also, you can email her at woman2woman, that's woman, the number 2, woman, at ccnewsmedia.org. And you can call for information, woman to woman, at ccnewsmedia.org. You can call at 773-609-4869. And as always, we appreciate your participation. And we see there are those who have joined us here live on Facebook. We've got a number of topics we want to deal with. One of the first things, and we've got, of course, those who are listening with us on our switchboard, and we invite you, if you have comments, to press 1, and we'll bring you into the conversation. One of the things that has been a very important note is the issue of money. And we are constantly seeking ways to finance the things that we know are important, and many times great ideas die for lack of financing. So our first topic we want to take a look at is, there are many great businesses and organizations that are doing wonderful things. We have people who are manufacturing things, people who have great services, people who have organized large members of the community, and they're doing some wonderful things, but they struggle because they lack finances. So today we're going to take a look at how we can actually create a means of financing those worthwhile visions that many women and men have that could really make a difference and solve problems that we have if we just collectively gave and provided the means. But one of the first issues that we have to face is the challenge of trust. And I want us to take a look at that. Because often we have had situations where people have gotten large grants and they have had these grandiose plans, and then something happened, and next thing we know they're getting indicted for fraud or theft. And so people get skeptical. Let me ask you both this. What do you think it is that makes people seem to lose their ethics when they get awarded, say, $1 million contract to do something? Then I'm going to start with you. You're head of the Sarcoidosis Foundation, definitely a worthwhile organization. Sarcoidosis is something that is very much prevalent, more than we really realize, and there is a need to promote and to provide a means for treatment and even education. But when it comes to getting financing for things, often we have to deal with being in the shadow of someone else who perhaps mismanaged funds. What do you think it is that makes people lose it, I guess, when they get a large sum of money to do whatever it is they said they were going to do?
Well, let's start with integrity first of all, because I feel if you don't have integrity, where's the truth? Can it be told? How will you handle that with others? Are you open-minded enough to share with someone else without, sweeping them under the carpet or throwing them under the bus, per se, especially about some money? So I think it starts with us in a way. How do I love myself enough to share or to do something with you or anyone else for that matter? And like I say, we'll come back to truth and integrity, and especially integrity.
Well, you know, we never really know whether a person has integrity until they're tested. It's easy to be honest with nothing, but when you actually get money and you really get a sizable amount, maybe more than what you've ever had, $1 million, and somehow a million sounds like a lot to people who haven't had a lot. But when that $1 million is awarded after you've written the grant and all of that, or whatever the case may be, you got the contract, and the money is awarded, somehow people just lose it. Why do you think that happens? What do you think it is that causes people to not be able to, as Linda says, act with integrity and truth once they get the money that they said they need to do this wonderful thing they were going to do?
Thank you. Well, you can start at the top. You can start with the government. Okay, everybody steals.
Why is that?
Because it's a false concept that they're worshiping. Number one, the dollar bill. It's not money. The dollar bill is not money. Okay, so we're dealing with a false currency. People believe in the piece of paper, and we know that the piece of paper really has no value. But in concept, if you think that it does, it does. And so you want to do like everybody else. That's stealing. I haven't been in politics, but since we've been here, we were stolen. So we're dealing with a false concept of what's true and what's real. So we can just start at the top. I mean, in the book you authored, the psychic
trauma,
the
slavery,
trauma.
African American psychic
Right.
trauma.
It's psychic trauma.
Yeah.
So we're going to go to the root cause of it. Let's go to the root cause of it. We were stolen. I mean, we built the country. I mean, how much are we worth if we had to pay it back plus interest? So we are dealing with, from the very top, because anytime you can come up with the idea to cut down some trees, refine it in the wood pulp, get some green ink and a printing press, and just whip out pieces of paper. And say one piece of paper is a dollar bill. And say one piece of paper is a 50 or a 20 or $100 bill. This is false. We don't have integrity because we're under a government that has no integrity. How do you steal people? How do you steal people, give them nothing? Never, ever give them nothing. And then say we got some integrity? So people really follow, I always say, children live what they learn. So if your children see that you're lying, if that's Miss Jones, just tell Miss Jones I'm not here. Miss Jones, she says she's not here. So when we talk about integrity, we want to keep it real. We really have to have integrity. This is not gambling. Our lives are at stake. If we want to do something or value something worthwhile, I always say, and I operate from the basis of know, like, and trust. So if I know you, but I don't like you because I can't trust you. That's why I don't like you, is because I can't trust you. So under the banner of know, like, and trust, because we're still talking about the pieces of paper that people believe in, it's got some value. That's just the bottom line. They think that the paper has value, and look at what people do. They die, they kill, they do all kinds of things with this piece of paper.
Well, that's a very valid point, and I'm glad you brought that up, because I really believe that in order for us to have a society that is honest, a culture that is honest, and people have values of integrity, we have to change the means of exchange. We can't use those dollar bills as
we won't in a few
years.
days.
Yeah, well, it's slowly dissipating. It's letting us know we're about to change the whole system, because this system isn't working. If you have a small group of people who own and control the productions and the means of distribution of this symbol that you're using to represent wealth, then that small group of people determines who is wealthy. And that small group of people can determine who gets basic things that they need. So that small group of people creates poverty simply by withholding that little paper symbol from a large amount of the population.
That's what's going on right now with
That's
some of these
what's going on right now.
tragedies. There's some communities, Puerto Rico,
Look at what's happening in
didn't
Puerto
get
Rico.
what they should get, and other
Right.
people
Right.
got,
Texas
know,
got plenty.
you know.
Yes. So that being the case, what I want us to work toward and believe can happen is the creation of a new system of exchange. And we know some people have done it.
Yeah.
Time banking, we've
Time
been
banking
part
is
of
not true.
where an hour of your time is in exchange for whatever goods and services you need. Now this is what I envision. If everybody took inventory of all of their assets, everything that they currently have possession of right now, everything that they own, and then they made a list of all of their skills, everything that they could offer as service. This represents their wealth, what they have to exchange. Now, if you could go on your computer and look for someone who, say you wanted to buy a new leather jacket. Look for somebody who has a leather jacket in their list of inventory that they have, and then perhaps that person also, if each person makes a list of things that they need, things that they need done, things they need help with, services they need, items that they need, and you look at their list of needs, and you look at their list of assets and their list of services, and you say, well, look, they have a leather jacket, and they say that they need someone who knows how to file taxes. Oh, okay, well, I do taxes, so perhaps I can, in exchange for doing their taxes, get that leather jacket.
I just did that before I came here.
Well,
I
taxes are a leather jacket.
literally pulled the blinds down out of the bracket. And I was gonna put the blind back. I didn't have the right screwdriver. So there's a gentleman, he goes around and he does little odd things, and I had asked him, I says, I need a screwdriver to put my blinds back up. He said, I'll do that for you. I said, well, I don't have any money to pay you. He said, don't worry about it. So he came up, he put the blind up. I said, you know what, in exchange for you doing this for me, I have dinner. Would you like a dinner as my appreciation for what you did, because you came right away? He said yes, and I said, then I'll give you another plate for tomorrow. Is that okay? He said, yes, that's okay. That right then and there let me know that this stuff really works.
It works.
Right.
It really works.
It does.
Fiery.
Yes. So what I can see us creating is a very easy, and there are many barter organizations online. I mean, people are doing this already. I think rather than it being a fringe thing, it needs to be a way of life. And then people will be kinder to each other. You think about how this young man, I mean, he enjoyed the meal that he had, and
he wanted that more than the $20 I was going to give him. And I'll tell you this, you know, one of the things that we do time banking is because if you barter, the government wants its taxes.
So we have to find a way, and then of course the government wants to get paid. I think the government even will at some point have to function in a different way where people aren't paying you taxes. People are offering services. What does the government need done?
Exchange.
I mean, the government needs the roads cleaned. The government needs the trash picked up. The government, you know, needs trees cut. I mean, all the things the government needs done. I think same thing, the same function where we function as a community where we cooperate. So now, Glenda, if you were going to make a list of all of the things that you need someone to do, and rather than you having to pay them, you know, there would be a way you could exchange something that you have or something you could do. Give us a list of say, 5, 10 things that you need done if you could exchange it for somebody. What would be some of those
Sure.
things?
House cleaning, child care. You need someone to work with you if you're in a business, as you said, to be productive and make sure you can, you know, collaborate amongst many things. And in exchanging, you can barter for what it is you provide that probably could help me or you or whomever. People who produce the food. I don't want to go to the garden if I don't have time to go, then someone else can go and do that for me. So, I mean, it could be a gamut of things. But those, I think, are some important things: child care, housekeeping, food for those who are farming or whatever it is, or those who go to the wells and get the water wherever it's coming from, or other items.
We're gonna have to learn how to do something.
So,
underwater.
yeah, really. So now, you mentioned a couple of things, child care, maybe going to get groceries, housekeeping, and all of us need that. I mean, all of us, if we had somebody to take care of that, we could have a whole lot of extra time. So now, with that being the case, now can you think of maybe 5 things you could offer to do for somebody who might need some things done?
Sure.
Oh, yes, you're supposed to.
Sure, I can cook, so sure, I can go in and cook for someone. I can do their laundry, as far as that's concerned. Write a letter, or, like you said, if we're borrowing, there's many things here. And iron and what have you. I can go out there and hoe and garden, dig the garden, and whatever else they have to do to make sure that I can provide that food that's going to come up out that ground. So, there's many things we can do. I think we just have to think about it, and what you like to do too is important, I think.
Yes.
Because you do your best with that.
Yes. Well, we've got some responses here from our we've got some responses here from our viewers. I'm going to ask if our producer gets an opportunity to come around and take a look at some of the comments here and give us a little insight on what's being said.
So sorry.
Yes,
Okay.
you're on camera right now.
Oh,
you can't.
I can't read.
Revive.
I can't read.
You have to get your. Oh, you got your glasses on. Can't see. You got to get your glasses. You got them on already, right? Uh-oh, I'm gonna borrow my contacts. Oh.
Let's see. You have Kayef. Let's see. James. You want the phone number? 773.
Oh, no, just tell us what they said.
Okay. He said tax jobs concerning the sugar tax laws. He said call Farm Market Pro Ask Force Cuff James.
Okay.
James. And he leaves the phone number.
Okay.
So, and then you have him, he comes back again and says 1,000 of opportunities. Every department in privatized is being privatized now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, that's true. Every department is being privatized, and then we've got people who have skills that are out of work. So,
and then he says bartering is the basis of every business venture when starting.
yes, that is true. So we have to remember before there was these dollar bills, they cut down trees and chopped up wood and made pulp and ink and all that and came up with this paper money. Even before gold, people simply traded on what they needed. So we're not talking about something that's not doable.
Oh, absolutely not.
We can just decide to go back to a system that works. Well, we've got a call at 773-683. Thank you for joining us on the Female Solution. Give us your name, where you're calling from, and your comment. Uh-oh. Hold on. (773-683). Are you with us? Check the mute on your phone. Your sound's not coming through. 773-683. Oh, now can you hear you now? Yes, go right ahead. Yeah, I can hear you now. Go right ahead. Check the mute on your phone. Your sound went out again. Having a little bit of sound issues there. 773-683, your sound went out again. You want to check the mute on your phone? Okay, now we can hear you.
Okay. Okay. I'm calling because I'm listening to this barter thing, but how do we barter for life and gas?
Very good question. How do we barter for light and gas? So, you got some,
Well, I just went to the library and got the movie called Soylent Green. And in that, and I'd gotten an email sometime back where they were going to have prisoners on bicycles pedaling to keep electricity. And in Soylent Green, Edward G. Robinson is lit because the lights are flickering.
I remember
And he's on a bike to keep the lights on. Now that might sound really wild, but I can share this with you. When the lights went out in Puerto Rico, they had no internet.
Right.
They had nothing. So that's pretty good. That's a good question. Not unless you got a flashlight that will shine for about 72 hours. I don't know how else you would do that.
Fire is free.
Well, if you can, well, you're gonna burn fire in your unit. And a
In
apartment,
an apartment.
you can't do that. But you gotta have some flashlight and maybe a candle. Yeah.
But I think that.
I remember Soylent Green, and I know what you're saying, but isn't that a good argument for solar energy where we're not dependent upon anything except the sun?
And that.
We're going to have benefit.
Yes.
Ordering and being self-sustaining, because there is a house on the east side of Chicago that I had the pleasure of visiting, and anytime Naima or you or anybody else, I would call this guy up, and this house is solar powered, and his stuff runs so well that he gives energy back to the grid. So
Yes.
he's giving the light power.
Well, I'm so glad that you brought that up because this very week I will be powering my house with solar energy, and I'm so grateful to have taken that step because very soon I will not have a bill from the light company. I will be solar powered, and so I'm open to share that opportunity with everybody because what has to happen is we have to have ways of using energy that comes from the earth and the sun and the water that is free from our creator and is not controlled by companies who are forcing us to maintain this perpetual state of enslavement to a dollar. So Glenda, I believe you had a thought on that?
No, I was saying, we're doing the panels also and into the windmills and all the other different things that we could be into.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
there's
the way to go.
windmills and so really we have ways of generating energy, but we need to explore more of them. We need to get more involved with it. We need to change our lifestyle so that our homes can be adapted to these. And actually, I just got a regular house, but they're putting 10 solar panels on there, and I'm telling you, in a very little while, I will not have a bill from the electric company. I'll be getting my energy from the sun. And so this is one of the ways that we can make that transformation. Look at how science is enabling us to use what's already there. And then you mentioned bicycles for the electric energy, but that's also a means of transportation. And as I've been talking about, when I went over to Korea and to China, saw rolls and rolls of bicycles. And matter of fact, you're walking down the street, you're dodging bicycle traffic because people ride bicycles. I mean, sometimes like if you work downtown, you ride your bicycle to the train and then park your bicycle and then get on the train and you get off work, you get off the train, get on your bicycle and ride home. So that's the way of life. And so, I didn't see a whole lot of overweight people or people struggling because, everybody rides a bike.
I asked a question and maybe you all have the answer. One day I woke up and there were bicycles everywhere in the city of Chicago. So what do you think brought that about?
Probably visited some other cities and saw they figured out a way to make money off of it because you can rent one bicycle.
You have to move back.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield is sponsored that Diddy, by the way.
Oh, really?
What happened?
You hear me?
You said Blue Cross and Blue Shield is
Blue Cross and Blue Shield is sponsoring that. That's a partnership with them, with the city of Chicago.
Yeah. Well, if it's this city, then it's a business deal in it. You know that.
Well, because I was actually wondering, is this something that they are anticipating in the long run? You know, we have a really high carbon footprint here in the city, in all major cities, from using oil, this petrol. And, you know, there are a lot of ideas now on the books that we don't have to use the petrol. Okay, we can lose this carbon footprint by bringing on these bicycles. And even with electric cars, that may be a little ways off, I'm not sure. But I thought about that. Why did these bikes show up all of a sudden?
I thought about that too, and I think it happened after the mayor had gone to several cities, and I know he had to see Brian with China, you know, but that's one of the ways that the city is going to have to cut down on its carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide and all that. And also, you notice where the streets, we have all of these bicycle lanes, because people are getting kind of annoyed at that. First, like, wait a minute, why are you doing this? Now traffic really backed up, but now they're trying to create bicycle lanes and everything. So, you know, all of the pollution, that could help to get rid of it, but then we also have to look at a changing lifestyle. People are tired of paying so much for public transportation, and sometimes these are just ride your bicycle to where you're going, ride it to work. And I think also the whole fitness thing. Yeah. But it's part of what we have to do in terms of making that transformation and finding ways we don't have to pay somebody to get where we're going. So we're going to take a break. And when we come back, we'll talk more. Hold on, we're going to continue this conversation and others as we look at ways we can transform the lives we live and empower ourselves so that we're not beholden to people based on a symbol of a dollar bill that really is fake. We have the real wealth within ourselves, so let us use what we have to get what we need. So we'll be right back after this break, so stay with us.
Hi, I'm Helene Gale, President and CEO of CARE. As one of the world's leading poverty-fighting organizations, CARE is on the front lines every day. And by seeing poverty up close, one thing is clear. More often than not, the face of poverty is a woman. Did you know that of the 1.4 billion people living on just over $1 a day, 70% are women and girls? Women do 2/3 of the world's work, but earn only 10% of the income. Women produce half of the world's food, but own only 1% of its land. And of the almost 900 million adults worldwide who can't read or write, 2/3 are women. Simply put, women and girls are the poorest, most excluded group on the face of the earth. That's why promoting gender equality, goal number 3 of the UN Millennium Development Goals, is so important. In fact, cutting poverty in half by 2015 depends on it. At CARE, we help empower marginalized women and girls so that they can play a significant role in society. We look at their whole life cycle and intervene at the most critical points in their lives. With knowledge, tools, and other resources, with just a little help getting started, women and girls can find their voice. Their world opens up, and they go on to create lasting solutions to poverty and bring